He is summoned to another world for the second time and becomes the strongest magician again. Yuki is a simple student enjoying his boring school day when his friend Yuhai asked what he was looking at. He tries to remind her that she shouldn't interact with him because people will start annoying rumors about them. But she doesn't care, they're simply childhood friends. She notices how he let his hair grow and asks if he wants her to cut it again. Yuki finally opens up a bit more and smiles at her, allowing her to do it and claiming she doesn't change. She smiles at him, happy that he accepted it, and tells her that they will always be friends. Yuki then looks outside and thinks about how the other world is doing. At that same moment, everyone sees the windows turn dark and a bring circle appears on the classroom floor. Everyone starts to panic, except for Yuki, who seems to understand what's going on. Seconds later, everyone from his class opens their eyes and sees they're in a wasteland. Yuki looks around and gets pretty hyped up because he knows where he is. Yuhai wants to know it, but everyone's attention changes to a nearby noise. Suddenly, the students see some Chemtech soldiers walking in their direction. They ramp up the pace, making the students run away due to their panic. Except for Yuki, who stands there because already knows about the magic power. Unwilling to see her childhood friend get hurt, Yuhai quickly holds onto Yuki. At that same moment, one of the soldiers tries to smash them. Yuki uses only one finger to defeat it, and the two start running away. As they move forward, they see some foot soldiers running in their direction to fight against the first ones, whom they call demons. The students watch the two groups battle, but Yuki is thinking that the war should have already ended. After looking at the demons again, Yuki starts to feel pain in his chest and realizes he was cursed earlier. A girl riding a horse appears and tells the students to retreat into safety while the royal knights protect them. But Yuki seems like he already knows who's that girl. She and the remaining soldiers engage in a battle against the demon horde, using swordsmanship and magic. Yuhai gets extremely surprised at how strong they look despite looking so young. Yuki doesn't seem surprised by it. Instead, he looks like he's proud. The two then start retreating, taking advantage of this protection. After being taken to the castle, the King of Dystinia and his daughter Margaret thank the heroes for coming to help them. He explains their kingdom is being invaded by demons, and just like 5 years ago, a group of heroes was summoned to their world. But the students were confused and unable to grasp the situation. Margaret explains in depth that 5 years ago, a hero was summoned to their world and he defeated the demons and brought peace to them. But suddenly, that same hero mysteriously disappeared. The king urgently requested the heroes to put an end to the ongoing war between demons and beastkin, pleading for their help. Every student was forced to learn and train their swordsmanship with Glein and magic with Elka. However, Yuki had intended to shirk away all the hard work and simply enjoy the ride. Elka noticed that Yuki was slacking off during training and called him out on it. She first commends his calm composure in this strange world, but then mentions that his selfishness is in pair with the former hero. She told him to go back to training, but he simply mocked her. She decided to teach him a lesson, but he simply ends up slapping her after dodging her attack. As she felt his hands hitting her, her heart skipped a beat. Yuki is the former hero. She knew it was him right away from the way he treated her. She couldn't help but express how lonely she felt after he left. Yuki was apologetic and reassured her that he was back for good. While he was using her as a chair, Glein appears without any idea of what's going on. But they fill him in, and he realizes that Elka wouldn't act like that if that person wasn't the former hero. They quickly go inform their other comrade Thea, but she isn't surprised. But she already knew. She sensed Yuki's magic power despite his new appearance. Yuki then mentions that he once promised he would be back, and now he fulfilled it. His 3 companions are initially surprised but then welcome him back home with a warm smile on their faces. Yuki then thinks they could have died during the time he was in the other world, and quickly changes his expression. He was wondering why the demons were attacking again. The group quickly reads his mind and reveals they have some questions for him. They ask him how he managed to return to this world and why he looks like another person. They explain that in their point of view, he simply disappeared after his last battle. But Yuki still doesn't understand why he was sent back to his world. According to him, he was battling against their own companion, Toma, with both suffering some blows and injuries. But when Yuki managed to hit Toma's shoulder, a magic ball started to slowly expand, and he was reborn in his original world. He kept all his memories and magic power and somehow was summoned once more to this world. Thea doesn't also understand how it happened, and Elka mentions what the princess previously told. This last summoning isn't a coincidence, but Yuki doesn't want to care about it right now. He wants to know what happened to Toma after receiving his last blow. He mentions that if Toma is still alive, he's probably the one behind the recent demon invasion. Thea asks if the demons are being controlled by any curse, Toma's power, and Yuki confirms it, mentioning the magic power he felt from the demon a few days ago. So, the only explanation is that Toma is behind everything. Elka explains, they also searched for Toma just like they did for Yuki, but they also didn't find anything. But now that they know that Yuki is alive, they also believe that Toma is. A soldier interrupts them in a hurry, claiming that the king urgently requested Glein. As Glein leaves, Yuki mentions that his companion is working hard, and Elka mentions that Yuki is the one who originally would get that job. But Yuki didn't want that. His plan was to simply travel all around the world after the final battle, but ended up in that situation. While looking at the scenery, Yuki starts to ask what's Toma's planning. Inside the castle, the king complains that he should have never accepted a peace treaty 5 years ago, and decides to declare a full-fledged all-out war against the demons. But Glein tries to delay it because their emissary hasn't come back with the news after being sent to the demonic continent. The princess disagrees with him, mentioning that the demons are the ones who invaded them, and the heroes being summoned at the same time is more than proof that war is meant to be. The king goes back at it again, mentioning that he should have never believed the former hero to form a peace treaty, and further mentions that if he went missing then it only means that they took the wrong decision. In the training grounds, Yui is practicing magic spells, as it seems that she has a natural talent for it. Yuki gets closer, congratulating her and mentioning she's talented. She thanks him, but he quickly notices there's something wrong with her. He asks what's wrong, and she asks if she's practicing to hurt people, and why should someone even go to war. Yuki knows the truth and doesn't know how to answer it, as it might hurt her. But despite that feeling, she quickly recovers and tells that she will use her talent for magic to protect him. Later at night, Yuki's companions approach him to reveal the king's plans on starting the war. Glein managed to buy some time, mentioning the heroes would die in the first wave and needed more training. But Yuki has already reached his decision. He will go out and stop the war by himself again. He believes this war is just some stupid thing Toma is creating, and is the one who needs to stop him. The three smile at him and start stating their desires to go with him on their old adventures. But Yuki refuses it, he needs to go alone. Plus, they cannot leave the castle and the students on their own. He also mentions that if Toma is the one instigating the war, then someone needs to stay in the castle because he will for sure attack it. And that's more than enough reason for them to stay and help the kingdom. But before leaving, Yuki needs one thing: his weapon. The group uses invisibility magic to sneak around the castle storage room. Elka goes ahead to knock the guards out, and the group mentions the old times when she always went in front during their dungeon explorations. She then starts to lockpick the room, but Yuhai notices something strange and sees them entering it. Inside, Yuki sees a huge black sword that he calls Kiromaru. However, the guards manage to find the guard Elka has beaten up, and they start looking all over the castle for the intruders. Thea and Glein will do everything to delay the situation, allowing Yuki and Elka to leave the castle. After finally passing by the castle walls, Elka tells him that the three will do everything to delay the king from starting the war, hoping that it will give Yuki enough time to stop Toma and the demon invasion. But at the same time, Yuhai, who saw Yuki get into the storage room, managed to follow him. She rushes to his arms, asking why and where is he going. He decides to reveal the truth, explaining this is the second time he was summoned to this world, and that he needs to meet someone to stop this war. Yuhai's eyes are full of tears, and she asks to come with him, promising she will be useful. But Yuki cannot allow her to get hurt, it's too dangerous for her. She can barely contain her emotions, but she remembers her promise. She tells him to close his eyes, and she approaches him. In an instant, she casts some wind and fire magic and gives him the promised haircut. She toughens up, and with a smile, and promises again that she will become strong and protect him. He knuckles her forehead and tells her that if she dodges it the next time, then she will pass the test and accompany him. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.